Okay, let's read Revelation chapter 6. And when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, "Come and see." So you see here, it's Christ that reveals this. Okay? And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. This is Apollo right over here. You read other prophecies about the son of perdition, about the final beast. He is considered as a man that conquers, and he succeeds in almost everything on worldly terms. Revelation 13 even explains he will fight against the saints and overcome many of them. So this is Apollo. Of course, his daddy Satan is around, floating here and there, but it's the beast that rules things. Okay, let's go. And when he had opened the second seal, it's Christ opening the seals, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And there went out another horse. It was red. Red is a color of seduction. It's a color used when you want to withdraw something from someone. You want something from an individual. It's often sexual related, but not always. So this refers to seduction, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. So hold on a minute. So this entity on this red horse cannot literally make everyone kill one another. He can't. But he can use seduction. That means the desires and longings of the human population to trick them into a negative situation in which you will end up killing one another, in which bloodshed becomes the norm. The purpose is to take peace from the earth. Well, that is real peace. A great sword was given unto him. A great sword simply means a lot of empowerment. Now, this refers to that demon I mentioned before called Asimony. Okay? He is a lost spirit that uses seduction to trick people into danger. So let's continue. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And behold, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. A balance, I need to explain, is supposed to use to measure things. So you would measure wheat, you would measure gold or silver to determine the price. It was common in ancient times. It was also used afterwards. Today, a balance would be an economic balance or financial balance would be the stock market or the banks. Okay, so this is an economic thing over here. And look what is explained here. And I heard a voice in the midst of the fourth beast say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see, thou heard not the oil and the wine." Now, in ancient times, oil was needed both for the military as for, well, let me say this, as for soap, because the Romans didn't really use soap until the later ages. Wine was needed to entertain the people. So I had oil that was used in the military for the outfits and also for the equipment, and he had wine to cover up the traumas caused by the oil economy. And the same today, but then you had olive oil, was green oil. Today you have black oil, in which they invade countries for their oil resources. So it's the same thing that's going on, but instead let me say, the materials have shifted a bit. And wine, today you have more alcoholic drinks like vodka and all of that. This simply refers to the entertainment industry. Okay? So who is this demon on this beast? That is Mammon, a fallen seraph. Okay? And let me see, where was I? And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. Oh, pay attention to this. And his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, or better translate Hades. And powers given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with a sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Who is this entity called Death? I explained before, that's the spirit of death. We call it the Grim Reaper. Is that guy that's wearing that black robe with his face covered and with a reaping tool in his hand? That's the entity. I made videos exposing this coward for who he really is, and that as a believer you have nothing to fear for him. Okay, but now let's continue. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God, and for the testimony which they held. Testimony is how the power of God worked out on their behalf and began to walk by faith. Because as you know, the world will turn on you when you walk by faith. And the word, it happened throughout history that people were killed because they confessed Christ. Now some confessed him out of imitation and they weren't believers, so it was a waste, but many of them were real believers and they got killed after they lived out their lives for Christ. When you look, for example, at Apostle Peter, he walked by faith, he overcame, and at the end of his life, when he had completed the will of God for his existence, they still wanted to kill him and they killed him. That's how desperate the reprobates are. They need to do something to feel good about themselves. But okay. And they cried. The souls, it's not the spirits. So this doesn't refer to people who are dead now and they're standing before God's throne, because nobody is in the heavens and nobody is in the lake of fire. Okay, first of all, the heavens are not our destination. This refers to the attitude of these people throughout the ages that were slain for the word of God. This is what they were demanding. And let me say like this. And they cried with a loud voice. Not just with a loud voice, saying, How long, O God, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? Here they simply means, when is the Lord going to set things straight? When I look at this, and white robes were given unto every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. So there will be more people until Christ returns who will be killed for their testimony for Christ. We will face tribulation in this lifetime, saints, and we will overcome. But even if you live 100 years, if you live to the age of 100 in full health, you walk by faith, and let's say the Holy Spirit allows them to attack you, even though they already lost because you lived past age 100 and you glorify God, they still want to kill you. They have this killing urge towards the Most High. That's how the reprobates are. Okay, so everything will be, the great reset will come when Christ returns. Now, during this lifetime, until Christ is there, you will overcome, you will overrule. But the true reset, once for all, will happen when Christ returns. That's made up over here. Till then, they will come to kill us, the believers. And I beheld, when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. And the sun became black as a sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. Untimely figs. Now, when a fig tree has leaves, it has figs already, but the figs are not ready yet. And when you then have, how would I say it? When you have a wind coming by and shakes it, the untimely figs who aren't strong enough will fall down. Okay? And the heaven departed as a scroll when it's rolled together, and every mountain island were moved out of place. That's a big earthquake right over there. And what happens during that earthquake? And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and every mighty man, and every bondman. A bondman is someone that's in bondage to those folks. So these are the pagan rulers of the world right over here. The wizards, the bloodbloods, the black nobility, that's them. And here says every free man. That are those who, of the world population, that got along with the beast system. Now what's happening to them on this day when things are falling apart? They hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and they said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the rod of the Lamb. the great day of his wrath has come, and who shall be able to stand? So look at this. These folks have been rebelling against the Most High. They've been putting the human population in a state of anxiety. They've been kidnapping kids, raping them. So they're pedophiles. They've been sacrificing them unto demons. They've been doing all of that. And then you have the sellouts, the bondmen that got along with it. And then you have the world's population that didn't want to face the truth despite that the gospel was presented unto them. Just wanted to be left alone. They just want to be relieved. Now the day comes that all the relief seeking is over. Because then Christ returns and he will make sure that everyone knows that he's coming on that day. Nobody knows the day nor the hour, but he's coming. And when that time is there, those of the pagan rulers are alive and the world's population that has turned against Christ, they'll know it's over. And because they operate in fear, they'll project all the fear on the Most High. Fall on us. Oh, so they will begin to, they'll lose it. They'll become insane. They'll begin to beg for death. But they can't die anymore because from that moment on, nobody can die anymore. Those who are still alive have already been changed from mortal to immortal. So they can't die. So that means that, oh dear, they need to face the Lamb. And they're not in a very good condition to face the Lamb, seriously. Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. Also, they don't want to face him that's on the throne, who is Christ. And they don't want to face the wrath of the Lamb. The wrath of the Lamb, or the wrath of God, is his active policy against man's self-destruction. And those pagan rulers did whatever they could to keep the human population in a state of anxiety, so in self-destruction. So the Lamb has a policy against them, which worked out through the believers. But the pagan rulers of the world, together with those of the world population that were antichrist also fake believers, they helped into oppress and killing the real believers and hinder them in all possible ways. Now they won't face the believers anymore. Now they'll face the Most High himself. They will face him face to face. Oh, they can't handle that. For the great day of his wrath is come. So they knew the great day of his wrath would come. And we should be able to stand. Cowards. Cowards, that's what they are. The pagan rulers of this world, they are cowards. The real heroes here are those that walk by faith and kept going. Those that agreed with Christ and kept going through the ages, they are the true heroes. They overcame the beast, that's Apollo. They overcame Simon, indeed, they overcame the lost tricks of the world. They overcame economic repression. That means the spirit of mammon, that ending overcame him. They overcame the spirit of death, the debt collector that came after their well-being. And still the world wanted to kill them. Overtly, so with military campaigns or police campaigns, or covertly through repressive policies, the world still wanted to get off. We wanted to get them to ruin. But you know what? Those are still alive when Christ appears, will know very well what has happened in the ages before them, but they'll still persist in their relief seeking until the sun goes out, it's pitch black, it's night everywhere. Also, the stars won't give the light. Some of the stars will fall onto the earth. Big earthquakes. In other places, Revelation says that even the cities on the earth will collapse. So all those cities like New York City, Tokyo, or Shanghai, with all those skyscrapers, they'll all fall down, they'll all collapse. Even some of the mountains will collapse also, so it's going to be a very big earthquake, and they know he who sits on the throne is coming. For the believer is great news, but to those pagan rulers and those reprobated relief seekers, oh dear, they'll lose it. I can't wait to see this happen. Okay, but in the next part, I'll talk about the 144,000. This was just to give the context. I agree with Christ, and be at peace.